In life, the people we look down on today may be the ones God sends to lift us up tomorrow. This story will teach you why love without money is not weakness and why pride, when fueled by pain, can destroy destinies. The morning sun was soft and golden over the city of Port Harcourt. The sounds of keke horns, church bells, and frying plantain filled the air. Inside a modest compound, on Old Aba Road, lived Chief Bariko Daba, a retired civil servant known for his strict principles and painful past. Chief Daba lost his wife, Mama Grace, 6 years ago to an illness that money could have cured. If only he had enough of it then. Since that day, he made a silent vow in his heart. His only daughter, Belema, would never suffer in poverty the way her mother did. Belema Daba was 26, graceful, soft-spoken, and kind. She worked as a fashion designer in D-Line and loved a young man named Tamono George. Tamono was humble, honest, and hardworking, but poor. He was a mechanic at my trade, saving every little naira he could build a life for the woman he loved. One Sunday evening, he came to Chief Daba's house wearing a clean shirt, carrying a bottle of wine and 2 friends. He came with good intentions to formally ask for Belema's hand in marriage. But Chief Daba looked at him and saw only poverty. "My daughter cannot marry a man who fixes other people's cars while his own destiny is broken," the chief said coldly. Tamono's heart fell, but he stood still. "Sir, I love Belema. I will take care of her." The chief laughed bitterly. "That's what I once said to her mother, until poverty took her away." Belema tried to plead, but her father's eyes turned red with memories. "Never again," he shouted. "I buried your mother with my bare hands because of lack of money. I will not watch you walk that same path." That night, Belema wept on her bed, torn between love and loyalty. Her heart belonged to Tamono, but her father's grief was a wall she couldn't climb. A month later, a new client came to Belema's shop, Senator Benson Okwoma, in his late 50s, married with children, known for his wealth and charm. He admired Belema's beauty, her soft-spoken nature, and her humility. "You have golden hands," he said, looking around her shop filled with colorful dresses. "Women of class should wear your designs. What's your name again?" "Belema, sir." He smiled. "Beautiful name. Means peace, right? I would like to bring you peace too." He began to visit often, buying clothes, sending gifts, offering to sponsor her fashion business. Soon, everyone in the neighborhood began to whisper, "Belema has caught a big fish." Chief Daba heard about it and smiled for the first time in years. Finally, he said to himself, "My daughter's suffering will end." One evening, Belema sat with Senator Benson in his mansion at GRA. "Sir," she said softly, "before anything serious, I have one request." "Anything," he replied, swelling his wine. "I can't leave Tamono empty-handed. Please, help him. Give him a job, buy a house for us, and help my father too." The senator was silent for a moment, then replied, "You're a rare gem, Belema. I'll do it." Within 2 weeks, Tamono got a lucrative job at an oil servicing firm in Trans Amadi. No one knew how it happened. A small bungalow was purchased in their name. Belema's father started receiving monthly cash gifts, money he secretly kept in a locked wooden box under his bed. Belema agreed to see the senator occasionally, purely as gratitude. She told herself, but the senator had his desires, and over time, her visits turned from business to secrets. Tamono, now earning well, married Belema in a small but joyful ceremony in Umola. Chief Daba danced until tears filled his eyes, not from joy alone, but from relief. He looked at Tamono and saw a man reborn, not knowing the wealth that made it possible came from another man's desire. For months, their marriage blossomed, but hidden things never sleep forever. One afternoon, Belema's closest friend, Ebere, came visiting. They had grown up together, but jealousy had found a seat in Ebere's heart. She had once admired the senator and envied Belema's good fortune. During a girls' hangout, Ebere had seen messages pop up on Belema's phone. "My dear, peace," from Senator Benson. That was enough. A week later, she visited Tamuno and said, "I don't want to break your home, but I can't watch you live in lies. The man who gave you your job and house is your wife's secret lover, Senator Benson." Tamuno's face turned pale. His mind went blank. He left the house that night, heart burning with betrayal. When Belema returned home that evening, the house was cold. Tamuno sat quietly in the dark. "Where are you coming from?" he asked quietly. "From the shop, my love." "Your shop or his house?" His voice trembled. Belema froze. "What are you talking about?" He stood up and slammed the table. "Don't lie to me. The senator, tell me the truth." Tears filled her eyes. "Tamuno, please listen. I did it for us, for you, for my father." "Enough!" he shouted, shattering a glass. "You sold our love for comfort." He stormed out, leaving Belema on the floor, sobbing. That night, she called the senator, begging him to explain to Tamuno, but the senator ignored her calls. 2 days later, news came that Tamuno's mother had collapsed in Boni. She had a severe heart problem and needed urgent treatment abroad, something that would cost millions. Tamuno was desperate. Belema, guilt-ridden and scared, thought of the senator. "He can help," she said, packing her bag. When she arrived at his mansion, the security man told her the senator was not seeing visitors. After hours of pleading, the senator came out, looking distant. "Benson," she said, through tears, "I need your help. Tamuno's mother is dying." He looked at her coldly. "We are done, Belema. You made your choice. I can't be your savior forever." Her eyes buckled. She left the mansion trembling, realizing the man who once promised to take care of her now saw her as disposable. Desperate, Belema sold the house, their only home. She sold her car, her jewelry, everything, yet the money wasn't enough. Chief Daba watched his daughter crumble under the weight of her own decisions. That night, he went to his room, opened the wooden box under his bed, and brought out the money he had saved from the senator's monthly gifts. "Take it," he said quietly. "This is all I have. I saved it because I wanted to build a house in your mother's memory. But now, maybe saving the soul is more important." Belema cried uncontrollably. "Daddy, I don't deserve your love." He placed his hand on her shoulder. "You're still my daughter. Your mistakes don't erase my blood in your veins." With the combined money, Belema traveled with her mother-in-law abroad for treatment. She prayed day and night for mercy, for forgiveness, for strength, for her marriage. One day, she discovered she was pregnant. She wept bitterly, remembering that her last meeting with the senator was before her husband touched her again. When Tamuno called her overseas, she couldn't hide it anymore. "Tamuno, I am pregnant." Silence. Then a calm, trembling voice replied, "Whose child is it, Belema?" "I don't know," she whispered. He ended the call. When Belema returned to Nigeria after her mother-in-law's recovery, Tamuno refused to see her. He wanted DNA proof. They met with the senator, who said confidently, "Let's go for the test. If it's mine, I'll take responsibility." The tension was unbearable. Belema's heart raced as the results day drew near, but destiny had other plans. The night before the results were to be released, Belema couldn't sleep. She knelt beside her bed and prayed like never before. "God, I have sinned against you, against my husband, and against myself. Please give me one more chance." As she prayed, Tamuno entered quietly. He had come to pick some files, but froze when he saw her kneeling. Something broke inside him. All the anger, pain, and bitterness melted into tears. He joined her on the floor. They wept and prayed together, holding hands for the first time in months. The next morning, the hospital called. Belema and Tamono drove there in silence. When the doctor opened the envelope, his voice was calm. "Mr. Tamono, you are the father." Belema collapsed into his arms, crying uncontrollably. Tamono hugged her, whispering, "We both suffered enough. Let's begin again." Months later, their baby boy was born. They named him Bariko Jr., after her father, who died peacefully 2 weeks before, smiling in his sleep. When Belema went through his stains, she found a note in his handwriting. "My daughter, don't let money define love. Don't let pride destroy peace. I once lost my wife to poverty, but I almost lost my daughter to pride. What I saved for you was not money, it was forgiveness." Belema cried for hours. Tamono held her and said softly, "Your father gave us more than money. He gave us another chance." Years later, Belema opened a charity foundation in Port Harcourt, the Grace Haven, dedicated to helping widows and the poor get medical help. Whenever people asked her how it started, she smiled and said it began with a mistake and turned into mercy. Moral lesson: in life, we may fall because of fear, pain, and greed, but true love, forgiveness, and faith can lift us higher than we never were. Never judge people by their pockets, but by their hearts, because the same poor man you reject today may be the true reason your soul finds peace tomorrow. End of the story. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned a lot. Please do hold on and watch out for my next video. Bye.